It's the final Friday night of regular season football on the Jersey Shore. I'm Rich Krampanis. Thanks so much for logging on to shoresportszone.com. Get ready as we take you on a tour all around Monmouth and Ocean County with awesome high school football highlights. We're going to get started right here at Shore Regional High School. The Blue Devils looking for a perfect regular season. Standing in their way, the Asbury Park Blue Bishops. Plenty at stake for Shore, looking to go 8-0, get a number one seed in the playoffs, and win a third straight B Central crown. Late in the first quarter, Alex Johnson loses the handle, but the Blue Devils are able to recover. They had a couple of fumbles, but never actually turned the ball over. Same drive, early second, George Notte from 34 yards out. It's good to go. The Blue Devils on the board with a 3-0 lead. Asbury Park had a huge kick return and threatened, but check out Connor Rampell, the tackle for a loss. Asbury Park's drive would stall at the 4-yard line, and let's shine the zone spotlight and learn a little bit more about Connor Rampell. We've had plenty of highlights of Connor on Shore Sports Zone, most of them of the catching variety. It was nice to show him doing some great things on D. The hidden talent is cooking. What's on the menu this weekend at the Rampell house? Get me some. And if he could have dinner with anyone from the past, present, or future, he chooses Warren Buffett. What a meal that would be. You can learn more about all the players we cover here on Shore Sports Zone. Just head over to In the Zone on shoresportszone.com. Back to the game action. Second quarter, Matt Pinnell goes to the air. Look at Jack Britton hauling down the pass. A 31-yard gain. Shore doesn't throw it often, but when they do, it's usually a big play. On the very next play, you give it back to 27. Jack Britton from 5 yards out. Shore Regional with a 10-0 lead. Late first half now, Asbury Park punting, and you see Coach Kaz, he wants the same vantage point as us. That's a fumble, and Shore takes over with great field position, and it's Notte's second field goal of the game. This one's from 32 yards out. At the half, Shore Regional with a 13-0 lead. Asbury Park gets back in the game thanks to a Shore penalty on a fourth down. A 15-yard penalty gives Asbury life, and it's Devon Thompson to Daequan Young, 15 yards. Hey, Shore's dominating this game, but it's 13-7. Asbury Park is right in it. But the Shore Regional formula always works. Ball control. Run, 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 and eventually opponents wear down, and Doug Goldsmith does just that. An awesome 35-yard run. 2 plays later, it's Jack Britton, 23 yards, and this gives Shore the cushion that it needs. It's 20-7, and the rest of the story, the Blue Devils defense. Great stop here by Mike Rosati, and the Shore Regional Blue Devils are 8-0 and heading into the playoffs as a number one seed. 20-7 is your final. A couple of 100-yard rushers for the Shore Regional Blue Devils. Jack Britton with 2 TDs. Doug Goldsmith was the workhorse, particularly in the second half. So Shore is the number one seed. It looks like Asbury Park could wind up being the number 2 seed. After the game, we got post-game reaction as the Blue Devils quickly set their sights on defending their state title.
Yeah, we treat this like a playoff game. They're a quality opponent, and they pushed us. We needed this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them again.
Well, it all starts with the O-line, all the blockers. Doesn't mean anyone can run the ball with this offense, and everyone's just working hard out there.
In the beginning of the game, we weren't getting much done, but we were still controlling the speed of the game. They were just going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and we weren't getting anything done, but we were driving a little bit, getting them a little tired, and then you could see in the second half we wore them down to the 27 win.
Shore Sports Zone's coverage of Red Bank Catholic is sponsored by Surf Taco.
Big rematch at Count Basie Field. Jackson Memorial taking on RBC. The Jaguars shocked the Caseys last year in overtime, ending that long Shore Conference win streak. And look who's in at QB for the Jags. It's Kyle Johnson. This kid can do it all. The run to the 5-yard line. It would lead to this. Jared Calhoun through the uprights. The field goal puts Jackson Memorial in front 3-0. And the Jaguars' defense was feeling it, especially in the first half. They created turnovers, and then this sack here by Connor Testa. Second quarter action now. Eddie Hahn goes to the air. Dan Lukowski, he has made some big catches all year long, down to the 15-yard line, but the Caseys squander a fumble recovered by Kyle Lona. At the half, it's 3-0. RBC fell behind 10-0 in the third, but Eddie Hahn would turn the tide in a major way. Look at Hahn, 37 yards. This is a critical play as RBC is right back in it. It's 10-7. Jackson Memorial once again had a solid night on the ground from Mike Golick. Here a great run, but the drive would stall. And Eddie Hahn was determined to not have the Caseys go into the playoffs on a 2-game losing streak. This is a 38-yard run. Same drive early fourth quarter, 3rd and 6. Hahn to Mike Balzo-Fiore. The Julian Edelman of the Shore Conference. Shore-handed, great routes, 14 yards. RBC's back in front, it's 14-10. And from there, the Caseys rode the wave of momentum. Eddie Hahn took this game over in the second half. That is a sensational 60-yard run. And RBC with 21 unanswered points, capped off by Dylan Murphy from 2 yards out. And Red Bank Catholic comes from behind for a 21-10 win over Jackson Memorial. Both of these teams are defending state champs. Both of these teams will be on the road in the first round of the playoffs. Remember, ShoreSportsZone.com will have the official matchups on Sunday on the road to the state title. Eddie Hahn had 284 all-purpose yards. His running in the second half was a big reason that RBC gets a big win at home over Jackson Memorial. 21-10 is your final in Red Bank.
Thanks to Tom's Ford for sponsoring Shore Sports Zone's coverage of Middletown North.
At Middletown, the Middletown North Lions had a 13-0 lead at the half on Freehold Township. Second half, Donald Glenn looking for more. Goes up top, Brendan Kuby. Man, Brendan Kuby is having a monster season to the 48-yard line. And Kuby wasn't done there. Here, the slip screen, running after the catch. Great yardage to the 14. What a drive for Middletown North. It's capped off by Austin DeWise. He finds the zone from a yard out. It's 20-0. The Lions up big. The rain would come to Middletown North. No worries. They go to the ground game. Connor Welsh. Welsh galloping into Freehold Township territory. And then Donald Glenn coming right at you. Last year he might have forced a throw, but Donald Glenn has matured. His decision-making has been fantastic this year, and a familiar face is back. Welcome back, Chad Freshnock. His second TD run of the game. It's 27-7. But give credit to these Patriots. They had a lot of fight in them. Anthony Lottie with an 8-yard touchdown run makes it 27-14. And then the Patriots defense is trying to make this interesting. Jake Dudix with the INT of Glenn. But there would be no heroic comeback for Freehold Township. That's because Brendan Kuby stomps the momentum with this fantastic pick. And look at Brendan Kuby go. No one was talking about Brendan Kuby in the preseason as an elite Shore wide receiver. But you look at the numbers, you look at the highlights, this kid did it week in and week out. And the Middletown North Lions are making history. 27-14 is your final. A 6-2 regular season. Remember, they still have that Thanksgiving game in the regular season against arch rival Middletown South. But the only 2 losses came to Freehold Borough in a narrow defeat and a 3-point loss at home to Ocean. There is no question that Middletown North has climbed a rung up on the ladder to be one of the top teams in the Shore Conference. And for the first time in 29 years, Middletown North will have a home playoff game on Friday. After the game, our TJ Brustowitz with post-game reaction from the Lions.
You know, we lost Chad Freshnock early in the season, and next guy stepped up and have done a great job. Now we're getting Chad back, and it's going to help us down the road here. But we're excited. We're excited to have a home playoff game, which they haven't had here in a long time, and now we got to do something with it.
I'm extremely excited. I can't wait. We're going to come out here fired up, and we're going to make some plays. It's a huge step. We're going to keep going, and hopefully we can get that state ring.
Thanks to Paver Restoration for sponsoring Shore Sports Zone's coverage of St. John Vianney. Thanks to Manasquan Bank for sponsoring Shore Sports Zone's coverage of Manasquan High School.
Let's go to Homedale, another team looking for an unbeaten regular season, St. John Vianney. The answer to that question is a definite yes against Manasquan. Man, the Lancers were rolling. Right out of the gate, Jeff Sheard The 10-yard touchdown run makes it 7-0. Anthony Brown had 5 touchdown passes in this game. The best of the bunch comes right here. You want to talk about up top. That one was a rainbow. Marquis Ellington, what a grab. 30 yards. Yeah, that's going to be a top play nominee. 14-0 Lancers in front. And Anthony Brown just sharing the sugar all over that St. John Vianney offense. Brown to Michael Stapert. This is all in the first quarter to make it 21-0. And then how about Chris Chukwunuke? 47 yards. What an offensive explosion for St. John Vianney. They had 30 points in the first quarter, 53 points at the half, and when it was all said and done, 67-0 is your final. The Lancers, for the second straight year, go 9-0 in the regular season. They will be home next week in the playoffs, and you have to give a lot of credit to Derek Sininsky, a coach who came in very late in the summer, had to get these troops motivated to play for him, and St. John Vianney just showed 1 week before their road to a state championship that when they are clicking on all cylinders, they are one of the most dangerous teams in the state of New Jersey. Statement made, 67-0 your final.
Shore Sports Zone's coverage of Red Bank Regional is sponsored by Navasink Electrical.
Senior night at Manchester. Red Bank Regional looking to spoil that affair for the Hawks. RBR looking to go to 8-0 against the winless Hawks. Opening drive of the game, here's Aleem Gotzi. 36 yards, it would lead to this. Aleem Gotzi plowing his way into the end zone from 10 yards out. The Bucks take a 7-0 lead on Manchester. The Red Bank Regional defense has been outstanding all year long. Zymir Ross gets into the backfield. Nice play right there. And then RBR goes back to work on offense. Jack Nowitzki, the 12-yard gain into Manchester territory. And Nowitzki can run it, and he can certainly throw it. Check out Sadiq Palmer. Back of the end zone, 22 yards for the future Syracuse Orange. It's 14-0 in the second. After another RBR stop, Nowitzki once again setting the tone on the ground. This is a 14-yard run up the middle for a first down. And Jack O'Connor keeps on splitting those uprights. O'Connor from 24 yards out, that made it 17-0. And the Red Bank Regional Bucks are heading into the playoffs with an 8-0 perfect regular season. 31-14 is your final. After a 5-5 record last year, I don't think anybody on the planet saw RBR running the table in the regular season, but here we are. The Bucks beat Red Bank Catholic at home. Got a quality win at Ocean Township. They are the B North champs, and they are ready for a postseason run. Little Silver will be rocking next week as the Bucks are home for the playoffs. Shore Sports Zone will be there. 31-14 is your final down in Ocean County.
Thanks to Manasquan Bank for sponsoring Shore Sports Zone's coverage of the Brick Township Green Dragons.
Brick Township looking to bounce back from last week's loss to Toms River North and clinch a share of A South. They had a 10-7 lead at the half on Toms River South. Second half, Anthony Costanza in at quarterback for Tom Zabranik. He's brought down by Marquez Alexander for the sack. Toms River South hanging tough, down just 3. It would stay 10-7 into the fourth. Matt Schleifer makes a great play on Calvin Jackson for a loss. This would force a punt, and on the next play, Schleifer is back at it again. Here, 37 yards on the punt return. But the drive would stall when Costanza is brought down again for a sack. Under 3 minutes to go, the outcome is still in doubt. Brick Township pinned back in their own territory, but Rashawn McCall is going to make the play that gives the Green Dragons some much-needed breathing room. Wow, Rashawn McCall, 79 yards. And it would lead to Rashawn McCall with the knockout punch. A 13-yard touchdown run, and Brick Township is able to hold off Toms River South, but it wasn't easy. The Hitting Indians certainly making a tough go of it, but in the end, 17-7 is your final. Brick Township shares the A South crown with Brick Memorial as well as Toms River North. When you take those 3 teams, they all went 1-1 against each other. So therefore, you have 3 tri-champs in A South, and it only seems fitting in one of the most deep and dangerous brackets in all of high school football in New Jersey. The A South title is split up 3 ways between the Mustangs, the Mariners, and the Green Dragons.
Shore Sports Zone's coverage of Manalapan High School is sponsored by DB Orthopedic and Physical Therapy. Howell High School coverage is brought to you by Manasquan Bank.
The Manalapan Braves on a rare 3-game losing streak, looking to get right for the postseason. The Howell Rebels playing host to the Braves in the regular season finale for both clubs. Opening play from scrimmage, Marcus Salinas would set the tone. This is a 48-yard run by Salinas, and it would lead to this. Chris Maxinik from 5 yards out. 3 minutes into the game, Manalapan's on the board. It's 7-0 Braves. And then the Manalapan defense would step up. This is Sal Tardogno, the INT. And more than just a pick, a great run as well. Tardogno takes it 52 yards, and Manalapan turns that turnover right into points. Marcus Salinas from 12 yards out. At the end of one, Manalapan with a 14-0 lead. Time for the Braves to go to the air now. Cody Weiner to Maxinik. Chris Maxinik with his second touchdown. This covers 16 yards. It's 21-0. Here's Howell trying to make something happen. Eddie Morales, a glimpse of the future at quarterback for Howell, goes 47 yards to Nick Rossi. It's 1st and goal from the 8 for the Rebels, but the Braves defense is able to preserve the shutout. David Blumenberg, the INT in the end zone, and on the very next play, here comes Marcus Salinas. Watch this run. Oh, man. 42 yards for Marcus Salinas, and now Manalapan's really rolling. On the next play, Weiner to L.J. Holder. A 38-yard touchdown pass. L.J. Holder's a playmaker. It's 28-0, and then a dominating first half is capped off when Marcus Salinas finds the zone for the second time. This is a 5-yard scoring play. 35-0 at the half. Manalapan goes on to a 42-0 win at Howell. Manalapan breaks a 3-game losing streak. They got right at the best possible time. They're in a good frame of mind now. Heading into the postseason, they are the defending Central Jersey Group 5 champs. It will be a tough road to repeat, but Ed Guerreri's team has some momentum now heading into the postseason thanks to a 42-0 win at Howell.
Thanks to Surf Taco for sponsoring Shore Sports Zone's coverage of Jackson Liberty.
Let's go to Bayville, a thriller between Central Regional and Jackson Liberty. The Lions last week stunned previously unbeaten Point Pleasant Borough with an overtime win. They were down 13-0 at the half, but boy, did they come to play in the third quarter. First play of the second half, it's Ryan Downer. 72-yard run. And all of a sudden, Jackson Liberty is going to get themselves right back in the football game because the drive is capped off when Ryan Van Wickle finds the zone from 2 yards out. It's 13-6. It's a one-possession game. Jackson Liberty would force a 3-and-out, and Van Wickle goes back to work. Here's Ryan Van Wickle with a 21-yard run. But on the very next play, Central's defense comes through. Mike Bickford forces the fumble. Brandon Vono falls on it and recovers. Fourth quarter, Jackson Liberty still down 7. Downer. This a 17-yard run, and Jackson Liberty is on the move. Van Wickle would go to the air. He finds Braden York for 13 yards. And now the dramatics really begin. 4th and goal from the 3. Jackson Liberty goes for it. Van Wickle to Braden York. We've got a 13-12 game. Jackson Liberty can kick an extra point and look towards overtime for a second straight week, or they could roll the dice. And the Lions are going for the win. But Brandon Vono is there to knock down the pass. Vono with a fumble recovery and that play, and Central Regional hangs on for the win. That's a great ball game. The Golden Eagles hang on for a 13-12 win over Jackson Liberty. That Brandon Vono play in the end zone was clutch. Coach Willie Jacobs' team now gets ready for a postseason run, and unofficially, Jackson Liberty is in the playoffs as well as an 8 seed. And based on the last 2 weeks, beating Point Pleasant Borough in OT and hanging with Central Regional, Jackson Liberty could be one dangerous number 8 seed come next week. The regular season comes to a close tomorrow. We'll have full action from Monmouth and Ocean County. Don't forget to check out our Saturday highlight show. And as soon as we get the playoff matchups, we will post them on shoresportszone.com. And don't forget, on Sunday, we will have the top plays from Week 9. Cast your vote as the winner gets a Monmouth Building Center game ball. For our team at Shore Sports Zone, I'm Rich Krampanis. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you here tomorrow with more high school football action right here on shoresportszone.com.